Welcome to APush for 5, your shortcut to mastering the AP U.S. history exam. Let's jump into period 4, 1800 to 1848, where America transformed through democracy, reform, and growth. Question 1. Stimulus. Excerpt from James Madison. Veto of the Bonus Bill, 1817. The power to regulate commerce does not include a power to construct roads and canals. Question. Madison's veto reflected which enduring constitutional debate? A. Executive rejection of judicial review in economic cases. B. Disagreement over whether tariffs could finance westward migration. C. The limits of federal power to fund internal improvements under implied powers. D. The use of the War Power Clause to justify commercial expansion. The correct answer is C. The limits of federal power to fund internal improvements under implied powers. Madison's strict constructionism curtailed federal infrastructure projects, underscoring tensions over nationalism and states' rights. Question 2. Stimulus. Excerpt from Horace Mann, 10th Annual Report to the Massachusetts Board of Education, 1846. Education is the great equalizer of the conditions of men. Question. Mann's argument reflects the broader antebellum reform belief that A. State-sponsored education should reinforce denominational orthodoxy. B. Federal government oversight was essential to equalize regional education funding. C. Classical instruction in elite academies preserved Republican virtue. D. Social inequality could be mitigated through moral and civic improvement fostered by public education. The correct answer is D. Social inequality could be mitigated through moral and civic improvement fostered by public education. Mann's advocacy for universal schooling expressed faith in moral uplift and civic virtue. Question 3. Stimulus. Excerpt from Dartmouth College versus Woodward, 1819. A charter is a contract, and the Constitution forbids the states to impair it. Question. Marshall's ruling most directly advanced A. The sanctity of private enterprise within an emerging capitalist order. B. State authority to regulate educational institutions. C. Congressional control over internal improvements. D. Strict constructionism as the dominant judicial philosophy. The correct answer is A. The sanctity of private enterprise within an emerging capitalist order. The court protected corporate charters, strengthening property rights and market stability during early industrialization. Question 4. Stimulus. Comparison. Second Great Awakening Sermon versus Reform Circular, 1830s. Sermon. All souls may be perfected through faith and reform. Circular. Temperance and virtue secure the Republic's destiny. Question. The relationship between these sources best illustrates A. Hostility between religious and secular reformers over social legislation. B. The fusion of evangelical revivalism with civic reform as moral guardianship of democracy. C. Rejection of human perfectibility in favor of Calvinist predestination. D. Government sponsorship of temperance as an official policy. The correct answer is B. The fusion of evangelical revivalism with civic reform as moral guardianship of democracy. Religious revival energized secular causes like temperance and education, linking morality to Republican virtue. Question 5. Stimulus. Excerpt from John Quincy Adams, Diary, 1820. The Union is a moral being, not a league. Question. Adams's reflection most directly counters A. Clay's insistence on amending the Constitution to permit disunion. B. Jefferson's belief that secession was an inalienable right under the 10th Amendment. C. Webster's support for nullification as a constitutional check. D. Calhoun's compact theory that sovereignty rested with individual states. The correct answer is D. Calhoun's compact theory that sovereignty rested with individual states. Adams defended an organic union, rejecting the notion that states could dissolve it, a precursor to Webster's arguments against nullification. Question 6. Stimulus. Historian A. Jacksonianism expanded political equality for common white men. Historian B. It entrenched racial and gender hierarchies while proclaiming equality. Question. The historian's disagreement centers on A. Whether democratic rhetoric masked structural exclusions. B. The role of federal courts in extending suffrage to minorities. C. The decline of party loyalty amid economic change. D. The effect of evangelical religion on partisan identity. The correct answer is A. Whether democratic rhetoric masked structural exclusions. Jacksonian democracy broadened participation for white males but excluded women, blacks, and native peoples. Question 7. Stimulus. Pair documents. Missouri Compromise Map, 1820, and Wilmot Proviso Debate, 1846. Map shows 3630 line. Excerpt from Wilmot Proviso declares no slavery in any territory acquired from Mexico. Question. The two sources together most directly highlight A. The triumph of Northern industrialism over agrarian expansion. B. Continuity of federal non-involvement in slavery policy. C. The breakdown of earlier sectional compromises over the territorial expansion of slavery. D. Political alignment of all Western states with the South. The correct answer is C. The breakdown of earlier sectional compromises over the territorial expansion of slavery. The proviso revived and inflamed the same regional divisions the Missouri Compromise had temporarily eased. Question 8. Stimulus. Political cartoon, The Monster Bank, 1832. A many-headed serpent labeled B.U.S. attacks farmers while Jackson slays it. Question. The cartoon's imagery reflects which larger tension? A. Federal expansion of credit to promote agrarian settlement. B. Populist hostility to concentrated financial power versus defense of economic stability. C. Supreme Court endorsement of monopolies under Gibbons versus Ogden. D. Whig opposition to tariffs as unconstitutional. The correct answer is B. Populist hostility to concentrated financial power versus defense of economic stability. Jackson's bank war cast elites as corrupt enemies of the common man, dividing parties by class and economic vision. Question 9. Stimulus. Excerpt from Sarah Grimke, Letters on the Equality of the Sexes, 1838. Whatever is morally right for a man to do, it is morally right for a woman to do. Question. Grimke's claim most directly connected women's rights to A. Southern defense of chivalric patriarchy. B. Evangelical reform's belief in separate moral influence. C. Whig principles of industrial progress. D. Abolitionist arguments that universal equality derived from natural law. The correct answer is D. Abolitionist arguments that universal equality derived from natural law. Grimke linked gender equality to abolitionist logic, broadening reform from slavery to women's rights. Question 10. Stimulus. Comparison. Monroe Doctrine, 1823, versus Polk's expansionist message, 1845. Monroe warns Europe against colonization. Polk declares manifest destiny the nation's providential mission. Question. The shift from Monroe to Polk reflects A. A transition from defensive hemispheric independence to assertive territorial expansion. B. Continuity of isolationism, rejecting all foreign engagement. C. Retreat from nationalism towards sectional fragmentation. D. Replacement of diplomacy with international arbitration. The correct answer is A. A transition from defensive hemispheric independence to assertive territorial expansion. Polk's rhetoric turned Monroe's restraint into active continental ambition, linking expansion with divine mission. Thanks for watching APush for 5. Let us know in the comments which questions you like the most. If today's practice helped you, tap like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. And share this with a friend who's also aiming for that 5. If you want more hands-on learning or direct feedback, reach out directly. We'd love to help you take your prep to the next level. See you in the next video.